We have a lot of intelligent women, but very few wise women. I'm going to play this clip.
Of intelligent women, but very few wise women. A wise woman can get a man to do whatever she wants him to do, but make him think he thought of it.
That part.
One example. I remember seeing this pastor that had come to church one time. He preached a message and he told the ladies, he said, ladies, he said, let me show you how to just use your head. Say you're sitting in a room and your man getting ready to get up and he grabs the door handle, get ready to open the door. And you stop him. You say, hey, stop, hold it. Don't move. And he's startled. He's saying, what is it? She said, it's just something about how you grabbed that doorknob. That just did something to me. And he gonna say, oh, you want to see me do it with the other hand? That's all y'all got to do with us. Okay, we'll give you all our money. We do everything. If you can just, because see, you can't buy men things. Mm-hmm. But what you can do is edify him. Mm-hmm. Tell him that he did something good, because especially with men nowadays coming from some of the households they come from, you might be the first person that's ever made him feel like he is something.
Mm. But the brother in the video did a really good job of breaking that down, about just kind of planting the seeds of, you know, kind of getting the guy to do what she essentially wants, but she's kind of making it seem like it was all his idea. Essentially just allow him to lead, allow him to be in his masculine presence, allow him to be, you know what I'm saying, the man, allow him to kind of curate the experience and do the things that he feels comfortable doing. And also kind of she compliments him and kind of mirrors his reaction at the same time. So yeah, I think it was like all about kind of planting the seed into the man, and kind of how she allowed him to kind of just lead the process. Towards the end, he made a comment about you know, about how a lot of women kind of give men compliment, especially a lot of the men that are being raised today. So pretty much like talking about the men in the single parent households, a lot of men that have absentee fathers, right? And sort of a lot of women doing more, doing a little bit more to kind of encourage their men, because it seems that a lot of young men potentially could be hearing that, you know, they ain't shit, you know, hearing that sense of encouragement, not really being there. And sort of that will just fuel them to kind of do more and more of those things that he's already in his, you know, operating and moving in his masculine presence. That's all I got.
All right. Let's go to Darwin.
Yeah, I most definitely like how he broke that down. Sort of like what Louis said. Really, really was clear on what he was saying, and the scenario was really, really clear. I don't know about statement about we'll give you all our money. That's more like a simp. I wouldn't that a woman can't do that to me and have me pour out all my riches or resources or whatever. But the thing about we have a lot of intelligent women, but very few wise women. I want to say that might be I want to say he might be showing a difference between women pursuing education and prioritizing that to be worthy, you know, or to be suitable for a relationship, you know, by being independent and being intelligent, versus a woman being wise and just knowing a man, knowing what a man wants and what a man needs in order to thrive in a relationship. It sounds like he's explaining the difference between the two, which would further justify when we make statements on women seeking relationships and seeking to position themselves to be wives versus to be the most educated and accrue the most student loan debt. So, I mean, that's all I can say on that until we get into further into this discussion among the rest of the panel.
All right. I'm going to go to you, Shan. In your opinion, how does society value intelligence compared to wisdom in women? And how does this impact personal and professional development?
Society
gives all deference to women's intelligence, which is problematic. I mean, that speaks directly to what Darwin just said. So you got my pastor taught me this 30 years ago: knowledge and wisdom. And what happens is young people have a lot of knowledge. Like, think about it now, man. You know, half you guys got grandparents, parents that could barely check email. They got iPhones that they don't know how to use. They don't need a fucking new iPhone 15. They could use an iPhone. An iPhone 15 and an iPhone 4 would be the same thing to them, because they just want to take, and they don't know how to get to the pictures. They don't know how to take them. They don't know how to do anything. That's the knowledge that a lot of people have. But the wisdom protects knowledge. And so the issue I have with this particular statement is we're talking about women. I'd like to just replace women with people, because this applies to men as well. There's a lot of smart whippersnappers out there, as they say, right? It's a lot of intelligent, smart, knowledgeable young people that don't have the time in service. I think I talked about this a while back when we talk about people in service positions like police or fire department. You know, you have what is called your rank, but then you have what is called time in service. And time in service is more important than anything. You cannot become a general in the United States Army unless you are 20 years in, period. It doesn't matter how much school you do. It doesn't matter how many battles you fought. You can get advanced as fast as you possibly can. You still won't be a general, not before 20. It's very rare that ever happens, because experience matters. And that's where wisdom is. And so all these smart women that we got out here, and what the brother in the video was saying is, you got all these women out here that just know what the fuck they talking about. They know this, they know that. And that's what gets on a lot of guys' nerves, because the women coming at them like they know every goddamn thing, right? But men with wisdom, or even women with wisdom, just be sitting there listening and say, okay, keep talking. Because I know you think you know, and you read up and you Googled everything and you ran to Wikipedia and learned all the shit you need to know, but you don't know anything about how it's going to actually go down unless your ass has been there and you've done it for a little while. And that's where wisdom comes in. And so what I think the brother was saying was, if women had some wisdom in their dating and mating spaces, they would know how to work their man properly to get the best results out of him for her benefit. But because women know so fucking much, and they think they know everything, and they didn't read every book, and they didn't watch all the movies, and they think they know so much, they apply that to men, and they're failing and losing far too often. The wise women know what to do. And if young women would employ a little bit of wisdom in their dating, they'd go a lot further with the man that they really want to be with. But you think you know too goddamn much. Now, I'm just talking about women because that's what's going across the bottom of the screen, but this applies to men and women as well. There's a lot of men out there that just think, man, I know what I got game. I watched Lucario. I got all the game I need. Okay, really? Oh yeah, but you only been on 5 dates in your whole life, and you got it all under control. Okay, no problem. This is an argument that a lot of people have with married men who's been married for 15 years to one woman, and then coming on the internet acting like, you know, he done had a gang of hoes. It's like, no, you've been out the game for 15 years. You don't even understand dating today. That requires wisdom. That requires you to actually do it, experience it, understand it, and understand and know how it moves. And that's why race car drivers that's been racing for a long time, filmmakers that know how to film, barbers, I wish Sweeney was here, that's been cutting hair for years, can take a simple pair of clippers or a regular car or a regular camera and shoot a fucking world-class movie with an iPhone versus somebody with all this equipment and all this knowledge and a red camera and this all this production and make a shitty movie. It requires wisdom to make the best movie, not necessarily knowledge. And it takes wisdom to get the man you want and get the results you want, not necessarily knowledge. And so if you don't have the wisdom and the time and service, you might want to listen to those that do, because they'll give you the better advice.
I'm going to go to you, Shrev. Have you ever observed any societal biases or stereotypes that hinder women from being perceived as wise, even if they possess significant intelligence?
Wait, run that. Let me run that question again.
Have you observed any societal biases or stereotypes that hinder women from being perceived as wise, even if they possess
Oh,
significant intelligence?
oh yeah, for sure. I think Shannon nailed a lot of that just now. Um, oh yeah, and sometimes it's a lot of what the women lead with, right? So they'll lead with their intelligence, or they'll lead with their degree, or they'll lead with their job titles, right? And a lot of that is, it's praised by society as a whole, and and it's commercialized. But men, we view that as masculinity, right? We're not attracted to that type of stuff. The stuff that you really lead with and put to the forefront is things that you would be attracted to, but not men per se. And I think that's one of the main issues that we have with that. A lot of what Homeboy was describing in the video is synonymous with game, right? And unfortunately, a lot of women who gain wisdom have to gain experience to be like that, right? So it's one of those things, right? A lot of people, like Shannon said earlier, it's in general, when we get that wisdom, it's like more of a defense mechanism. We don't use wisdom the way we should, right? When we learn things, a lot of times we don't improve. We just become more defensive, more guarded, and it doesn't work in our favor because it's going to repel people versus us getting wisdom and saying, okay, I learned this, man. Where did I go wrong? What does this man like? Right? Those are the things you get that experience. You'll learn how to please him, man, every way possible. Right? If you take that type of wisdom and apply it, then you can get so much better results. But we don't usually do that. The wisdom that we get, we go ahead and just become fearful, doubtful, jaded, and everything else. That's our main issue. We don't know how to get out of here and take our experience and use it for the good. That's
You
the
saying
main
you trying to
issue
be
to me.
nice, Trev? Saying we and our, you mean women? You say it like it is.
Listen, it is. We do it a lot too. Yeah, and you said it just now too, right? You replace the women with people, so don't do that. But no, yeah, women for sure are absolutely doing it, and it was I think it was CCH in the comments. She said it's just the feminine, divine femininity, right? And it'll stimulate masculinity. That was her comment in there, and I wholeheartedly agree with that, right? That femininity, that soft touch will absolutely stimulate our masculinity. The gentleman was correct when he said that it will make, I wouldn't say give us all your money. You're right, Darwin. And we ain't going to give all our money up, but it will inspire us to provide for you, right? It will inspire us to take care of you and to pour into you also. That's the whole thing. Stimulating that masculinity, there's so many ways to do that. Are you going to use your powers for good or evil, right? That's what we need to be worried about. Are you going to go ahead and take what you've learned from the man and apply it to the next man? All of those good things, you know what men like. You know men want you to be soft. You know when to be quiet. You know when to talk. You know when to say, are you okay? You know when to rub my back, right? You know when to do those things that are feminine. And what women should understand is the more feminine you are, the more masculine I can become in a good way. Like when we're talking about masculinity, that men are providers, men are protectors. That is stimulating your masculinity.
Yes, sir.